And one day this guy posted this weed farm in Oklahoma that he was selling. It was like a weed farm and cryptocurrency like mining facility.
Okay.
Like there's like these individual,
There's like computers in there or something?
like there's like individual houses, not houses, but like shell warehouse type storage facilities.
Okay.
And they were either grow houses or people were mining Bitcoin and just like cryptocurrency in them. And next day we drove up to Oklahoma City and met with this guy and got like a $15 million listing, signed listing agreement from him. Yeah, next day I was like, when we were there, I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like, yeah, it was super strange and it was just wild and weird.
Welcome to Sports Business Unplugged, where the real game happens off the field. No fluff, no filters, just raw, uncut stories from the pros shaping the industry. Their journeys, their challenges, their passion, straight from the source. Let's talk sports business.
All right, guys, welcome to the show, Sports Business Unplugged. Today we have Aaron Shockey, founder of the Aaron Shockey Group, top producing real estate brokerage in DFW area, and former college QB, VC investor, and Liquid Death, G.O.A.T, things like that. Cleats for athletes, too. It's a nonprofit helping kids access sports gear. Let's just get right into it. You were a QB in college.
Yeah.
What did that teach you? How did that shape who you are today? Like, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's the hardest job of anyone in any sport, I think. I mean, next to like a shortstop or a catcher, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any other position on any other sport that is that level of difficulty. You have to have leadership skills. You have to be smart. It's all between your ears. At some point, it's just all between your ears. How quick you can make a decision. So I think it really taught me a lot of leadership skills, quick decision making, showing up. I mean, you're that guy. You know what I mean? So you just got to be available 24/7 and leadership on and off the field. So
you played at Southern Arkansas and El Camino College. What were like the differences between those two schools, or why'd you transfer?
Southern Arkansas was in the middle of nowhere. I hated it. I just wanted to kind of chase my dream of playing college sports. I was only there for a year, which I still made some friends I still have today. So I was like 15 years ago or something like that. But yeah, still have a few buddies, a couple of guys that transferred out with me. A couple of guys made it to the league from there. And then I had surgery for this thing. It was unexpected. It wasn't injury related or anything like that. So I had surgery, got that done. And then I had to get a surgery on that same spot again, like 6 months later. So it sent me back for like a whole year. And then I still had like the desire to still kind of play. And so I went to a few camps and threw for some schools at some JUCOs. This is like before the transfer portal and NIL and stuff. So you had to like sit out a year, or you had to graduate in order to play right away. So, or go to a JUCO. And so I went and I threw for some JUCOs here, like Tyler, Cisco, and a couple other ones that are like only like an hour or two away from my house. And they're like, yeah, we'll take you. But then they found out that I'm transferring in. And I think Texas had a rule at the time that you could only have like 5 transfers from other schools. Yeah, on the team from other schools. And like, this is like late spring. So they already had all their guys, right? And so, I don't know, I still had this itch to play. And so I was like, oh, I can go play in California JUCOs. So I started looking them up. I was on spring break. I was at University of North Texas at the time. I was on spring break, and I called their coach. He's like, yeah, you can come throw for us. I literally got in my car the next day, and I drove 24 hours. And literally threw for him. 24 hours later, like, yeah, we'll take you. So I went to El Camino. Yeah.
Any good seasons or like highlight moments from
El Camino? El Camino's fun. I got there late. I mean, I got there going into that summer, and they had a guy there for like, I think he was a redshirt sophomore. He started just because we had a West Coast offense. I mean, you're changing the play of the line of scrimmage. You see a blitz, you're changing out of a run to a pass. Like, I mean, it was pretty complex offense for a JUCO. I'd say it's pretty complex offense for college today.
Yeah.
Now it's just they might have like 5 plays, but just different variances of that play. There's no RPOs, anything like that, and so it was just so different and so much of a playbook that it took me a little bit longer than I thought to kind of learn it. I remember my last game was probably my funnest game because I figured, hey, I'm probably not going to play after this, so just let it go.
Yeah.
And I threw for 3 touchdowns and like close to 400 yards. Yeah. It was fun. My parents were there. Yeah, it was fun. Awesome. It was a good one to walk away from. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you go from college QP to real estate? I feel like that a lot. I mean, a lot of people in athletics go to real estate, but they don't become brokers usually. Usually they're just investors. How does that happen? Like when you're still in college, right, and you get your real estate license, how does that all evolve?
I was a senior in college, and I didn't necessarily want to work for someone. I always wanted to be a teacher and a coach. Like that was like my main goal in life, was to be a teacher and a coach. I just loved my coaches that I had in high school and whatnot. And then my roommate in college at El Camino, his dad lived in Malibu and had a ton of money. And I was like, all right, maybe I don't want to be a teacher and a coach anymore, right? But I always wanted to be like a head coach. I never wanted to be like just a teacher and a coach. I wanted to be like an offense coordinator, move to head coach, not be a teacher anymore, just be a head high school football coach in Texas. So I always wanted like more out of the job. And then I saw kind of what money can buy you whenever I was like hanging out with him in Malibu and stuff like that. And then so I was like, all right, what kind of job can I have to not have a boss? And I can be like the guy right away. And I was like, all right, I'll sell real estate. And I would watch like $1 Million Listing all the time, like Ryan Serhant, Josh Altman. Yeah. And I would watch all those shows, and I'm like, I can do this. And so I just got my real estate license my senior year of college. So, and then I had some pretty quick success. I had like 2 closings my first like month and a half in the business.
Do you think your time as a QB like translated to that success a little bit, like just being an athlete and having that role on the team?
Yeah, I think like the work ethic for sure, but I also saw like my dad and grandpa was just like they're just workers, you know what I mean? Get up every day and did the same job for 45 plus years. And I saw that, and so I know how to work. And Paige is here with us today. She runs my team and stuff, and she can also probably tell you the same thing. It's like I just like working, and I show up every day and I work. I go to the office, and we don't even have to go to the office, you know what I mean? And so I just love being there, and I love working. So, but the same thing in sports though too. I did not miss a summer workout in high school. Like I think I went starting after my 7th grade year, or going into 7th grade. I started working out with the high schoolers, and I didn't miss a day. And I never missed a day. I never missed a practice. Anytime the gym was open, I was there. Like growing up, I was at the rec center every day. Like I just worked, and I worked out at sports. I worked out at everything that I did, and so I've always known working. But yeah, I think leadership helps me. Like leadership on the football field helps me out with my team today, and then just having to make quick decisions, you know, and just doing things right now. What you had to do in the football field kind of translates to kind of talking to clients, other agents, and stuff like that.
And you said it led to some early success. What was that early success like?
It was pretty quick, and I mean, I like when I first got my license, I thought all my friends were just going to buy a house from me, and so I was going to sell like 50 houses, and so I sold 2 pretty quick. One being from a buddy a longtime family friend who was waiting for me to get my license, and he's going to use me, so he used me. And then another one, I sold a house on FaceTime from someone from California buying a house in Texas. I never met him to this day. I showed him one house on FaceTime. They're like, yeah, we'll take it. And I was like, you sure you don't want to see like more? I'll go show you some more houses on FaceTime or whatever. And like, no, we'll take this one. And so I was like, all right, this was 2 easy back-to-back deals. This is going to be the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And it was not that way at all. I had some adversity right after that. It was a little more difficult than I thought.
So what were some of the challenges that came after that?
Just trying to find clients, get clients. Like, how do I get business? No one teaches you kind of where to find clients, where to get business, deal flow, how to get leads, and that kind of stuff. And so, you know, the first 2 were real quick, and then it just stopped. And he's like, oh wait, I actually have to go find these people and stuff like that. So I had to learn that pretty quick.
So what'd you do after that? How did you face that challenge? How did you get the next sale, like the third, fourth, fifth sale? Did you just had to go out in the field, or what was it?
I kind of like went guerrilla marketing in a way. I knew that my friends at the age group we were in weren't buying their first house yet. And so I kind of went beyond that. I started reaching out to like my dad's friends, people that I knew that had money, people that could buy real estate or looking to move or downsize or something along those lines. So I went after them. A lot of having conversations with older people. And then, I would cold call. My first cold call I ever made, I actually got a $1.5 million deal out of it. It never closed, but I got it. And so I called this lady in East Texas, and she met with me like 2 days later, got the listing agreement signed, and it was an insane deal. She had like way too much land and way too many horses for what she could kind of control. And it turned into me more so helping her sell her horses over selling her property. But I learned how to like cold call and just kind of get my name out there, social media and all that kind of stuff. So
and then at some point you meet Rogers Healy. How did you meet him, and how did that evolve, and how did he become a mentor to you? Just talk about that.
Yeah, me and Rogers are kind of the same person. We were just like love working. We love being at the office, and we love grinding. And I met him on Instagram. So I'm the kind of guy that if I see you doing something that I would want to do, I'm going to follow every step. Like I'm going to watch you do it from a distance, and I'm just going to do it. Yep. And so I would follow all these real estate guys on Instagram and stuff. And I followed him on probably pretty early on, like way before I had my license. I was like, all right, this guy's crushing it in Dallas. I want to kind of be that. So what is he doing on a daily basis, and what's he putting out there that I can kind of mimic and do in my daily life? And then one day he just like slid in my DMs and was like, get your license and come work for me. And I was like, I'm already halfway through my licensing right now. So I met with him the next day, and I signed on at RHA before I even had my license. And then got my license, and I just showed up every single day. Like I worked right outside his office in this little cubicle, little pit thing. And I think he just saw that. And 10 years later, I'm doing the same thing, working next to him alongside like, every single day. And he's like, all right, this kid's someone I can probably build into. So kind of took me under his wing, and I always call him my big brother. I talk to him almost every other day. We're like brothers now at this point. So
he kind of taught you the ropes, and then you kind of did your own thing with it. Do you have like a certain strategy, or what's your strategy of your type? I know because people do real estate in a multitude of different ways. Do you kind of, what's your thing? Like, what are you the best at in terms of selling?
That's a really good question. One, I think I'll outwork anyone. And then two, just kind of being transparent and real with buyers and sellers, and just like, hey, this is where the market's at. And I'm not afraid to have those conversations. I'm not afraid to turn down a deal anymore. Like if they're unrealistic with their pricing, or like last year, I was really proud of myself. I literally told a client to fire me. Wow. I was like, hey, I don't need this. Like they weren't very nice, and I did all I could for them. It was just a weird deal, and I was like, look, I'm fine if we part ways. And they're like, no, it's okay. And then 2 weeks later, like, hey, we'll take you up on that. And I was like, that's probably best for both people. Yeah. And going in, I wouldn't have done that early on in my career because I needed the money or whatever. I would have just done whatever it took to keep the deal. But now I don't necessarily need every single deal. And so having that helps me every single day, I guess. But yeah, I think I'll just outwork everybody, and then I'm willing to do things that people aren't willing to do to get a deal done. Probably sets me apart from other people. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you enjoy working on like high profile, multi-million-dollar houses, or do you enjoy working on, lower profile, less expensive houses more, and why?
That's a good question. I think I like them both, right? Like obviously selling the big stuff is fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
You make more money doing it that way. But there's some deals that I've done for like friends, and I've watched them buy and sell over the last 5 years. And they bought their first house with me 5-6 years ago, and they turn around and sell it, and they make $250,000 on the sale of their house. And watching them set themselves up for their future by investing in real estate kind of does something to me inside a little bit more than selling the big stuff. It's more meaningful, I guess, sometimes. But then again, I mean, the big stuff's fun too. It's where everyone wants to be in luxury real estate.
Yeah.
But the little stuff, and I say little, I mean, everything is something to everyone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all subjective, I guess. But the stuff that means most to people, and I mean, watching people make money on their sale of their house means a lot to me, I think.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite sale that you've ever done, a favorite deal you've ever done because
tough.
of the people or because of the house or just something came together?
There's a couple deals for like my friends, and I've seen them make a couple $100,000. That, and my background, I mean, I grew up in a lower income type area, and you don't really ever see people get out and like make a ton of money and do stuff like that. And so when I see people making $200,000-$300,000 and knowing where they came from and knowing that they're not going to go below it and they're going to invest it correctly, it kind of is funner for me to watch because I know they're setting themselves up for the future kind of thing. So
yeah, for sure. And I think that, do you think that your school necessarily, the college you did helped you in real estate, or was it just mostly your QB experience and you seeing your grandpa and your father work hard? Did school teach you anything about real estate or teach you your work ethic, or can you talk about that?
I'm not the biggest proponent of school.
Okay.
I probably got my college degree because my parents, to make them happy and proud. I don't use it at all, so it's like a very expensive piece of artwork on my wall.
Yeah.
That I paid for, and so like they didn't pay for my schooling or anything like that, but I think I got it more so for them, and their kind of boomer aspect of life, and they want you to get a degree, get a pension, work for the same company for 40 years or whatever, and do that. It's like security, I guess, and I just didn't want that, and yeah, I enjoyed my time in college, but I don't think it really translated to what I do now. I think now I'm just more of a connector, and it doesn't teach you how to connect with people. It doesn't teach you how to be a salesperson. It kind of just teaches you that I can get up and go to class and study and pass a test. So I don't think college really helped me. I think it was more so my growing up and kind of how I grew up, and then sports obviously helped me out a ton. Yeah.
And now you're a VC, venture capitalist, and you invest. How did you get into that? How does someone get into VC? Like, you're from real estate. Did you just meet someone or?
Yeah. One of my best friends, Bryce, he came to me. I started making money in real estate, and then he came to me with this oil and gas venture deal. And I think the owner of this company used to be like the minority owner of the Texas Rangers or something.
Oh, wow.
He owns an oil and gas company, and they sell funds. So you can buy like units into this fund that buys wells, and then they get them up and running, and then you get like checks every month, and then they'll turn around and sell it, and then you get paid out. Still hasn't sold yet, but I do get like monthly checks from this. But he came to me about it, and I didn't have anywhere else to put this money, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then Rogers found out about that one, and Rogers at the same time was kind of starting a VC firm, and so I've done like probably 7 or 8 deals with him.
Wow.
From like Goat Fuel. Which I had like dinner with Jerry Rice the other day. Sat next to him with dinner. Yeah, it was pretty. Cool. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
it is cool.
And then Charles Haley was there, telling all their stories and stuff.
How's Jerry?
Jerry's
cool.
Yeah, he's the most like humble, yet will talk crap about the Cowboys kind of thing. Like talk so much love about San Francisco 49ers and stuff like that. It was just the coolest, and like just hearing like the stories from him. And just being open to having those conversations, because I'm sure people just bombard him all the time about just, I don't know, he's the best receiver of all time.
Yeah.
So he probably gets questions a lot about that. But it was one of the coolest dinners. It was a group of us who were investors in Goat Fuel. And then, I mean, I'm an investor in Tiff's Treats, which was cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's cool because I was already buying clients Tiff Treats like regularly.
Before.
Like, yeah, I think today we sent out probably like 15 dozen Tiff Treats for the month of June. We'll probably send out another 10 as the month goes on. But I was already doing that. And then I got opportunity to be an investor in them privately. So I did that. And then Free Reign Coffee is founded by Cole Hauser. He plays Rip on Yellowstone. I'm in a concrete business. What else am I in? Liquid Death. That's a fun one. I'm in a couple other. I'm in a Harbor. It's a baby monitoring company founded by Kevin Lavelle. He founded Mizzen and Main, the t-shirt or the clothing company. He founded a baby monitoring company called Harbor. So I did that one. I'm in a few others. I'd have to look at them, but yeah, I'm interested in some of that stuff.
Why do you invest in these companies because you get to do things like what you did with Jerry Rice? Like, does that give you incentive, like go to a cool dinner like that, or why do you invest in these companies?
No, I think real estate can become mundane at some point, and it's like the same thing every single day. You're always just putting out fires, and sometimes clients can just take and take and take from you. You're just always at their mercy, right? And then VC was just fun things to do outside of that makes me feel like I'm a part of it, even though I'm not. I don't run day-to-day operations for any of these things. I just kind of write a check, send them money, and then I get updates on how they're doing. But it's cool to like go into Central Market and see that goat fuel is on the shelf. Yeah. And then like go to lunch with my parents and be like, oh, look, Liquid Death's right there. Like I'm an investor in that. So I'm a part owner of the company, right? Yeah. And I think that aspect was just fun for me at the time. When I was really heavily doing it, it just was something different, something fun, something to be proud of. Like to actually see a product on a shelf was kind of cool. Yeah. It's just something so different than I do on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I feel like I've just been thinking about this. When you go to a store and you see Liquid Death and you want to get it, you still have to buy it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
I don't have a discount code for them. I have a discount code for a couple others. Like Go Fuel, I get like 50% off. Okay. Tiff Treats, I have a discount code for. Some other ones, yeah, but I pay full price for it. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even drink energy drinks, but I buy really? I had to stop a year ago.
You've taken a sip though. Like.
Oh yeah, I used to be 3 energy drinks a day kind of guy. But my doctor said I can't drink anymore. So
you crash. It makes you crash.
Yeah, I was having like some breathing problems, and so I got that fixed though. But yeah, I buy so many Go Fuels. Like my wife hates when I buy them. I just got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 dozen at the house yesterday, but I just give them away all the time.
Oh, yeah. You just buy them to give them away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, no, that is fun.
Yeah.
But is this the fund that Rogers has? Is that how you get in touch with these people? How do these people just reach out to you? How does that work?
I've done a lot through Rogers for sure. My first one I didn't do through him. It was through a buddy of mine. And then I've got a couple more that I've done separately outside of Rogers Fund that he has in Morrison Seeger. Yeah. It all kind of just comes from just connecting with people. I try to connect with as many people as possible, and eventually people hear that you're doing different things. So deal flow kind of flows your way at some point. Once you kind of put that out there on LinkedIn or wherever, like, hey, I just invested in this or I invested in that, deal flow will start to kind of come your way, and it makes finding deals a little bit easier. Yeah.
Which one of your things that you're invested in do you use the most?
Oof, probably Tiff Treats, or Liquid Death, or Free Reign. Free Reign, it's only coffee we drink at the house now. Okay. So it's probably one of those 3.
The coffee doesn't give you the breathing problems?
No, it's weird. I know, it's weird. But yeah, I used to drink like 3 energy drinks a day for like 10 years. It was bad.
What type of energy drinks?
I drink Monster.
Oh,
yeah.
White Monster?
I drink the low carb blue one every single day, literally all day long. Yeah, it was horrible.
Probably good that you stopped it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we do probably coffee, the Free Reign coffee, Liquid Death, or Tiff Treats is probably what I use the most.
The Free Reign coffee, is it just regular coffee? How does that? Is there something special about it, or what?
Cole Hauser founded it from Yellowstone. Yes. I think they have more of like a grab yourself up by the bootstraps kind of vibe to them, and like, hey, it's get up and work kind of stuff. But they have their different flavors. I'm not a connoisseur of coffee or anything like that, but they have like a light roast, medium, dark, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. it's just cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, I know. I want to definitely talk about Cleats for athletes for sure. That's one of the main things I wanted to talk about. So you started by just buying the cleats and just giving them to kids that couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And then it became a nonprofit. You raised $20,000 the first year, and now it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Just like talk about why. Why did you start that? Why? What's the reason? Did you see something? Why?
Yeah, like I said, I'm from a lower socioeconomic area. And so I kind of saw early on in middle school, kids showing up to practice wearing like tennis shoes or just old cleats or something like that. And I believe in the power of sports, especially at that age, and especially where I'm from. A lot of kids didn't have dads or just, like broken household kind of stuff. And I have such a tight relationship with my coaches. Still to this day, like my high school football coaches and my middle school coaches, I still talk to them on a regular basis. They were younger.
What about your college coaches?
No, I don't talk to those guys anymore. No, okay. No, it's too much of a business. No, but they were younger at the time. So I graduated high school when I was like 18, 19 years old, and they were probably like 30 or like early 30s. I remember our head coach was like 28, 29 when he got the job, and so he's only 10 years older. So I saw him as like a big brother at some point. Yeah. And so they're not that much older than me in the grand scheme of things. So I could talk to him about big brother type stuff. And then even my middle school football coach, he's still at the same middle school that I was at. He's a head athletic guy at the middle school now. But it was his first year in when I was in 8th grade. So me and him were pretty close. I'd work out with him after school and stuff like that. And he's still at that middle school, so I'd call him. I know the power of sports, and I know that some of these kids, if they were not to be playing, they would go home and not love being at home, whether they ate dinner that night or had to see something they didn't want to see in their family or just along those lines. But so sports is an avenue to kind of take that away from them and also allow them to learn adversity, teamwork, how to be coached, and really buy in. But I don't think you could buy in really if you're just slipping and sliding on a football field. And so I've always had like a heart for that. And my first couple of years in real estate, I started making a little bit of money. And so I'd reach out to him like, hey, do you have anybody that needs cleats? And he'd be like, oh yeah, we have like 3 guys that don't have shoes. Okay. And so I'd be like, I'm going to buy them. So I would go to Academy and I would buy them like $100 pair of cleats, like some pretty decent cleats. Yeah. And I want to make sure they like not getting made fun of for not having anything or not having like cheap stuff. So I'd buy them like a decent pair of cleats, and then they could also buy into kind of what's going on. I probably did that for like 3 or 4 years. And then one of my best friends, Dana Romano, and we were just talking about it. And I was like, what if I made this like a legit thing? Yeah. So I called some attorneys and like I set it all up 501c3. So we're an official nonprofit. And our first year, we only do like one event a year, so it's not like we're doing anything crazy. But we raised like $20,000 our first year. And I was like, all right, we can help out like a lot of people if we just keep doing this. Yeah. So we don't try to do like too many events or it's not like a full-time thing, but it's something that I think is going to help out a lot of kids in the future. Yeah.
And you guys do like a charity golf tournament, right?
Yeah. So we'll do a golf tournament every year. The first year was solid. This last year was even better. We had a full turnout, so like 72 plus golfers. We raised way more money than we did the year before that. I mean, it went really well. Every year we've had solid athletes. Derek Holland plays on my team every year, played for the Rangers for a while. Scott came this last year. I think Jonathan LaCroix was there. Eric Warfield. Who else? Ty Montgomery played for Green Bay for a little bit. Yeah. He came. A few others, and it's just fun getting them involved. And then it's also kind of fun watching it grow from the first year to the second year. And then like now I have people coming to me like, hey, let me introduce you to this guy. He can help out, or he can get some high profile athletes there, or hey, here's how I want to get involved, or how we can make it better. And I think it's only going to get better from kind of here. So
yeah, I think that's really cool how people can come up to you and now are like offering you for help and just like see what you're doing and kind of want to grow. It's not a business. Technically it's a business, but it's a nonprofit. But I think that people once you start getting bigger, people see that what you're doing is relevant and why you're helping so many people. I think it's really cool that people are coming up to you and like offering help to make connections.
And I think after like going to the actual tournament itself and kind of seeing what we're all about, it makes it a real thing for some people. And so they want to get involved. You know what I mean? It could just be like a post on Facebook, but when you actually go and see it like in person, and then you see us dropping off the cleats and kind of changing some kids' lives in that moment, it's actually real. And I mean, it sounds so silly. It's just cleats, but I really think it goes way farther than that.
Yeah. Did you play in the golf tournament?
Yeah, I play. Yeah.
You big golfer?
Yeah. Every once in a while. It takes too long to play during the day, so I mean, it's like a 5 or 6 hour day if you go play. But I'll play like once every other month or so. Yeah. I played on the high school golf team.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, only my senior year, but yeah, it was fun.
Were you pretty good or?
No, I was horrible. Oh, okay. Then I was horrible. But my one of my other best friends, he was like the manager of a couple different country clubs while we were in college. And so after football, me and him both finished at North Texas together at the same time. He would text me like, bring your clubs to school, and we would just go hop on for free. So I played like Trophy Club, Tiburon, all these like country clubs in DFW for free every single day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I got pretty good in college, and then after college, I haven't really played that much.
Okay. And you went down to UNT to do a guest lecture, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Was it weird or?
It was fun. It was weird. It was different. I'm not really a professor by any means, but one of the professors reached out to me and asked if we could come and do a lecture on real estate and kind of the market and where I see it going. It was fun. It was a cool experience. I could probably see myself doing like one a year or something like that, as like a guest speaker or something.
No aspirations to become like a professor?
No, absolutely not. No. It was fun though. I actually have a few people from that class that like added me on LinkedIn and stuff, and so it's cool to kind of keep up with them. So
that is really cool.
Yeah.
You like public speaking, or is that something you do often? You're like at a panel or something?
Yeah, I do panels quite often. I'm not afraid to like public speak or make a speech or anything like that. And so, but I don't know, teaching is a different kind of thing. I probably wouldn't be a professor, but I do like public speaking, and it doesn't bother me at all. So
how do you balance, the VC you do, the real estate, the Cleats for athletes, the public speaking you sometimes do, and being a father? How do you balance everything and make sure you put a little bit of attention towards everything?
That's a good question. I don't think the VC takes too much time in my day, just because it's kind of, you write a check and trust that the guys are doing their job. But I would give a lot of credit to Paige, who's here today. She kind of runs the day-to-day operations of not only my business, but my life, and kind of keeps everything on track. I would just say Laura at home, kind of making sure that we have our child is taken care of and he has everything he needs, allows me to kind of chase my dreams and do all the stuff that I'm doing. And then I'm motivated. I have something to work for. I have a why. It's different than it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I have a family at home, and that's super important to me. And to wake up every day and go out and conquer and try to not only make money for our family, but also to keep chasing my dreams. But I also have a really good home life that she allows me to kind of do that stuff. And so I've put a lot of good people in my life and around me to kind of keep me grounded and allow me to go keep chasing my dreams and doing all this stuff.
What do you have core values or like a philosophy that you follow when you're, doing your work and you're trying to conduct your business, or just in your personal life?
I'm a believer for one, so God for sure, and no philosophies that I necessarily live by. I just know that there's work that has to get done, and it gets done. I have a twin brother who's a pastor.
Me too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a minute older.
Oh, you are? I'm a minute younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is it a brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the coolest thing ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't get it unless they're a twin.
No, we can read each other's minds.
Oh,
literally.
Twin telepathy. It's a real thing.
No,
100% is a real thing.
It's real.
It's real.
It's a real thing.
People think we're crazy if you're not a twin, but if you're a twin, especially of the same sex, you are you're born with like a mind reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know a lot of twins, and they're all the same too.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing
they
ever.
Literally read each other's minds. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I have my twin brother who always was there with me since day one, keeping me grounded, and me and him also kind of work off each other from times. I know I can always call him if I need anything. So I don't really have a philosophy I'd live by every single day. I mean, I guess I have a word. I kind of say more a lot. I think there's always something you be doing.
Yeah.
And like, let's say you had a closing. Me and my buddy say to each other a lot, well, could you have had more closings? Could you have done more today? Like, oh, I had a good day. I did a lot of stuff today. Well, could you have done more? And so that kind of keeps me going a little bit too. But I mean, being a believer and then just having a good house at home kind of keeps me motivated every day. That's kind of the philosophy, I guess.
How do you think your 21-year-old self would react to you and what you do today?
Oh, I don't know. I was an idiot at 21. I was probably lost and had no idea what I wanted to do at 21.
Yeah.
I just got done playing football and was like going back to school, which I didn't want to do. I never loved school. I never wanted to finish. I kind of, like I said, I didn't really do it for myself. I guess I did and didn't at the same time. And I didn't really know what was next step because your whole life you just played sports and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, what's next? And I never made money from it. You know what I mean?
No.
It wasn't like my career or anything like
Me
that.
either.
Yeah, it wasn't like a career, but you know, you don't have a coach telling you have to wake up at 7 a.m. anymore, or you have breakfast check at 6:45 or 7. Like, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do all these things, and it's just you and what do you want to do. That was probably like the toughest.
I think that's why a lot of people like the structured environment of a 9-to-5, because they've done that throughout school and it just feels like the same. So becoming an entrepreneur it's just so uncomfortable for so many people, and that's why so many people are not willing to take the leap, or it's just too hard.
Yeah. I mean, I think structure and operations and all that stuff is something that I struggle with, which is why I have help with that. Because my brain will just go and have 50 ideas in one day, and I want to do all of them.
Yeah.
And the people who are closest to me will be like, yo, let's reel it back a little bit and let's do one thing at a time. Let's perfect this before we get into this. But I don't know. I do need structure, but I also need someone kind of help me through that structure. Also allowing me to kind of run free a little bit as well.
I'm going to go, before I go into some like kind of rapid fire fun questions, I just want to ask, because I love to hear stories, and our audience loves to hear stories too. Do you have like a crazy story, a deal or anything, like anything that's happened that's kind of like just different, that's out of the ordinary?
I had a crazy deal. It didn't close, but me and a buddy are in this like random Facebook group. I don't know how we're in it. We probably shouldn't be, but it's like, let's say you're a business owner and like you're in Tampa Bay and you're like, hey, I need to hop on a flight to Dallas tomorrow or something like that. Someone could be like, oh, I'm jumping on this plane tomorrow and I'm going to Austin. You can ride with me, and then just get a car or something like that. Like, it's for, I guess, super wealthy people. Yeah. But somehow we're in it. And one day this guy posted this weed farm in Oklahoma that he was selling. It was like a weed farm and cryptocurrency like mining facility. Okay. Like there's like these individual.
There's like computers in there or something?
Like there's like individual houses, not houses, but like shell warehouse type storage facilities. Okay. And they were either grow houses or people were mining Bitcoin and just like cryptocurrency in them. And so they had so much electricity ran to these things for that. But this guy was like, I need to sell this. And so my buddy commented or messaged him and was like, hey, we can sell it for you. Like, you don't sell it yourself. And next day we drove up to Oklahoma City and met with this guy and got like a $15 million listing, signed listing agreement from him. Yeah, next day I was like, when we were there, I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like, yeah, it was super strange, and it was just wild and weird.
So you just drive up there and he's just waiting there for you? And
yeah, we set like a meeting time, and then he like walks us around the place, and I don't know, it was just like everyone was like individually rented out from someone. So it was like just
Did you go into them?
No, because we weren't allowed to, because I guess what was going on, I guess the laws or whatever, we couldn't like walk them, but like that's what was going on in them. And we had like market it, like we got official marketing materials, like we marketed it as it was supposed to be marketed, but and then a lot of people were interested in it, but a lot of banks won't finance that kind of stuff just because of regulations and stuff like that. So it's like super hard to like a super hard sell. But we had a ton of interest, I think, but it was just super hard to finance it. It was just fun how it all kind of happened.
Yeah.
It was a wild experience.
It's all from a group chat.
Yeah, from like a Facebook group. Like it was super random. And I don't even know how I'm in it. Yeah.
That's crazy how things can just like develop like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you some rapid fires. So, favorite childhood sports hero?
Ooh. Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant?
Yep.
Why?
Mamba mentality. Basketball was my first love, and Kobe Bryant is, I don't know, his legend lives forever, and he's just like, is the best mentality of sports history. Yeah.
Are you a big basketball fan?
Yeah, I think basketball is like my first love.
Mavs?
Ish before the Luka trade. I was a Mavericks season ticket holder for like 5 years, and I'm one of the ones that canceled after the trade. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I canceled mine, so I did not renew for the upcoming seasons.
Well, maybe they'll pick up someone good like KD.
Or Cooper Flag or like his name is. Yeah.
Do you have a morning routine? Or like do you have something you do every day when you wake up?
I used to go to the gym every morning at 5 a.m., but I don't do that as much anymore. Get up and hang out with my son while my wife is at the gym, and then I put him down, and she gets home, and I go to the office. Okay. So yeah. I hang out with my son.
That's a good morning.
Yeah, it's better than working out, but I need to get back in the gym.
What's your favorite song right now?
Oof. Song, I have no clue. What is my favorite song? Oh, Nokia. Yeah,
it's a good
Nokia.
Song.
Who's calling my phone? Yeah, it's a good one.
What's your dream product to invest in?
Oh man. Probably like bigger real estate deals. Like I would love to invest in or help build a complex or something like that. Would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Favorite cookie from Tiff Streets?
Chocolate chip.
By far?
That's easy. Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. Chocolate chip's
really?
The only cookie to ever eat. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Chocolate chip. Chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
Unless every once in a while, like a sugar cookie done right with like sprinkles on top, that's a pretty good one as well. Yeah. Or a snickerdoodle if you're in the mood. But
chocolate chips like the number one.
Oh yeah, that's the only that's the OG.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. What's your favorite spot or restaurant to go in DFW?
Probably Nick and Sam's. It's just a classic place to go. I mean, you always have a good time at Nick and Sam's. Yeah. Or me and my wife have been going to Banditas a lot.
Yeah.
Banditas is a really good spot. Yeah. It's easy to get into. It's child friendly for the most part, and it's easy to get a table.
Yeah.
So we go there a lot, and especially last minute, you don't have to get dressed up or anything like that.
Like no reservation.
Yeah, it's just super easy. So probably like Banditos and Nick and Sam's if you're really trying to celebrate.
Yeah. What's your most memorable play from your football career? You can remember.
I started as a varsity sophomore at quarterback in high school, and I ran for like a 65-yard touchdown on like this boot, but no one was open, so I ran it, and that was a pretty cool one.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was cool. Or a couple of times I threw my twin brother a touchdown pass. That was always fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was a wide receiver?
Wide receiver, yeah. He was an all-district wide receiver, and then he played college basketball, but it was always fun. Like, we had this weird telepathy thing. If the play broke down, I had to roll out. I just kind of point where I wanted to go, and he just knew what to do.
That's cool that you guys were kind of good with that. 'Cause I played tennis, and me and my brother would play doubles, and we could not get along like, for anything. Like we were.
My brother, I was always like kind of like the meaner one. And, I mean, he was just like, but I don't know. Somehow it just worked. Yeah.
That's cool. What is your biggest lesson so far from becoming a dad?
Oh, man. Nothing else really matters. It all matters, but the only thing that really matters is his, I don't know, safety, his health, his like all of my dreams kind of vanish. Like I'm still chasing my dreams and doing kind of that stuff, but it doesn't really matter unless he gets the opportunity to chase his.
Yeah.
And make sure that he's taken care of. Yeah.
One app on your phone you can't live without.
ChatGPT or Instagram. Either one of those.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you one more question to wrap up. I ask this question to all my guests. You've seen so many people chase the real estate industry, VC, everything you do. Some people make it, some don't. What do you think separates the people that succeed from the ones that don't, or from the ones that fade out? And what advice would you give to young people trying to break into real estate, VC investing, just being a better person, just being successful?
Showing up, like 100% show up every single day. Go above and beyond, do stuff that's not asked for you to do. Like if you get a job at a company, stay late. Even if you're off work hours, if your salary, stay later than normal. Do jobs that aren't in your job description. Like set yourself apart from pretty much everyone else. I say this all the time: get up, dress up, show up. So like get up early, dress up, show up to the office, like do your job plus some, and really separate yourself from the rest, and just don't quit. I don't know. You just gotta go at it every single day. If you don't want to go to the office that day, you still gotta go do it. You know what I mean? Like you still have to do your job, and you have to, have a good attitude about it, and just keep at it.
Yeah, I love that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Where can our followers, our audience, reach you?
Instagram, Facebook. Anything. It's at Aaron Shockey. You can email me at aaron@aaronshockey.com. I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You guys heard that. Aaron@aaronshockey.com. And that's it with Sports Business Unplugged. I'm Andrew Sachs. You can find me on LinkedIn, just my name. Sports Business Unplugged on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can find us there, and looking forward to putting this episode out. Thank you guys so much.